Welcome to the short-term course on research methodology organized by the Berar General Education Societies, Sri RLT College of Science, Akola, in association with PhD Cell, Sant Gadge Baba, Amravati University, Amravati University Chemistry Teacher Association, and Microbiologist Society, India. I am Dr. Vaishali Gudadhe, Professor and Head, PG Teaching Department, Library and Information Science, Sant Gadge Baba, Amravati University. Today we are going to discuss on the topic Academic Integrity and Plagiarism. We will cover the topics in this presentation regarding to the academic integrity, plagiarism, ethical use of information, citation, anti-plagiarism tools, UGC regulations and universities plagiarism policy. So to start with the topic academic integrity, it is the moral code or ethical policy of academia. The term was popularized by the late Don McCabe, who is considered to be the grandfather of academic integrity. According to the Wikipedia, academic integrity includes values such as avoidance of cheating or plagiarism, maintenance of academic standards, honesty and rigor in research and academic publishing. So, when we discuss in an educational context, academic integrity refers to a set of values that support fair and honest student behavior. Students who violate academic integrity are known to plagiarize or cheat on tests and assignments. So, if we discuss on the ethical use of information, there are two terms, that is copyright and fair use. Copyright is one form of intellectual property protection for creative works. Copyrighted may be regarding to the books, may be regarding to the research publications, and copyrights are of the author, or we can say the publisher. So, a fair use as defined in Title 17, Section 107 of the United States Code states that it's a copyrighted work for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching. It may include multiple copies for classroom use, scholarship or research. Is not an infringement of copyright. So, we can use this fair use regarding to the notes in the classroom. A teacher can give the notes to the student, so it is used for teaching and learning purpose. So it's a fair use. So next concept is plagiarism. The word plagiarize actually comes from the Latin plagiare, to kidnap, according to the Oxford English Dictionary. Many people think of plagiarism as copying another's work or borrowing someone else's original ideas. But terms like copying and borrowing can disguise the seriousness of the offense. So according to the Merriam-Webster Online Dictionary, the plagiarize means to steal and pass off the ideas or words of another as one's own to use, without crediting the source, to commit literary theft, to present as new and original an idea or product derived from existing source. So in other words, we can say that plagiarism is an act of fraud. It involves both stealing someone else's work and lying about it afterward. So in research, plagiarism means defined as a form of research misconduct. Misconduct means fabrication, falsification, plagiarism, or any other practice that seriously deviates from practices commonly accepted in the discipline or in the academic and research communities, generally in proposing, performing, reviewing, or reporting research and creative activities. So, this fabrication is the intentional act of making up data or results and recording or reporting them. So we can quote the example in social sciences. If a researcher or interviewer completing a questionnaire for fictitious subject that was never interviewed Or we can say in biological sciences, the creation of a data set for an experiment that was never actually conducted. So these are the example of fabrication. And falsification, we can say it's a manipulating research, material or equipment or processes, or changing or omitting or suppressing data or results without scientific or statistical justification. It includes misrepresentation, providing false statements. So these are the example of fabrication and falsification. So we can say that the words and ideas can be stolen. According to United States law, the answer is yes. The expression of the original ideas is considered intellectual property, is protected by copyright laws, just like original inventions. Almost all forms of expression fall under copyright protection as long as they are recorded in some way, maybe in the book form or the computer file. So what can be considered plagiarism? If we are turning in someone else's work as our own, or we are copying words or ideas from someone else without giving credit, or failing to put a quotation in quotation marks, or giving incorrect information about the source of a quotation, maybe changing words but copying the sentence structure of a source without giving credit, or copying so many words or ideas from a source that it makes up the majority of your work, whether you are giving credit or not. So what about images, videos and music? Using an image, video or piece of music in a work you have produced without receiving proper permission or providing appropriate citation is plagiarism. These activities are very much common in today's society. Despite their popularity, they still count as plagiarism. So, if we are copying media, especially images from other websites, to paste them into your own papers or websites, or we are making video using footages from others' videos, or using copyrighted music as a part of the soundtrack, or performing another person's copyrighted music, playing a cover or title song, or composing a piece of music that borrows heavily from another composition. We always heard about the film industry that they have copied some tunes and lyrics, so this may cause the plagiarism. So let us see the types of plagiarism. There are 10 types of plagiarism. First is the clone plagiarism. It is also called identical copying. In this, one person copies another work. It may be word for word without any change and claim as his own work. And the second is remix plagiarism. In the remix type of plagiarism, one person collects information from various sources and mix all together as a single document and then claim the work as their own work. The third type is Control C. We always heard copying and pasting. In the written document, a significant portion of text copied from any single source without any alteration, then it is called Control plus C, that is copying kind of plagiarism. And the fourth type of plagiarism is hybrid. And in this type of plagiarism, perfectly cited source documents are copied and arranged as a new document without giving the citation. And next, fifth type of plagiarism is find and replace. Changing the most common keywords and phrases in the copied content and not making any changes in the essential document is called find and replace kind of plagiarism. In this, many times the researcher gives the synonyms, replace the synonyms in this type of plagiarism. Next, sixth type of plagiarism is recycle. It is also called as self-plagiarism. It refers to the act of borrowing from one's own previous document without a proper citation. See, here I would like to quote one example. One of the researcher has taken his own research. In the next research article, the publisher warned the researcher that you don't have to use, if though it is your own research publication, as it is copyrighted with the publisher. So it is also the self-plagiarism, frequently using our own research publications. The next 7th type of plagiarism is mashup. When the returned document is copied from more than one source and all are mixed together without any proper citation, then it is called mashup kind of plagiarism. Then 8th type of plagiarism is 404 error. This is very much important type. In this, a person creates a document by copying from various sources and prepares a single document with the citation. But if the citation is inaccurate or it will lead to the non-existing resources, then it will be called 404 types of plagiarism. And the 9th type of plagiarism is aggregator. In this type of plagiarism, the written document includes all the proper citation, but it does not contain original work. Then it is called aggregator plagiarism. And the last 10th type of plagiarism is retweet plagiarism. If all the written document seems perfect with properly cited mark, but still the document resembles somewhere the original text structure or wordings, then it is called retweet plagiarism. So these are the forms of plagiarism. If you are copying from a source without acknowledging it, using someone else's ideas without referring to the author, or you are paraphrasing is improper. If you are not using your own words properly and you are not giving the clear idea, or you are presenting someone else's work as your own. So these are all the forms of plagiarism. Next, we will see the example. It is one of the citation given here, and regarding to the original paragraph, here one of the researcher has given quoted example, and according to the example, direct quotation the researcher has mentioned and he has quoted in the quotation marks. In the next example, you can see paraphrasing. It is cited properly, paraphrase, and in this plagiarized version, you can see that without citation the researcher has quoted here. So we can explain that the writer has referred to a specific government report he or she read about in a magazine, so the source must be cited properly. Though few words were changed, this attempt at a paraphrase is too close to the original. Several exact phrases from the original should be surrounded by quotation marks. So regarding to the violation of act, plagiarism is considered immoral act and perceived as a crime. Though there is no separate plagiarism act in India, it is governed by the section 57, 63 and 63A of the Copyright Act. Copyright violation is using the author's work without permission, whereas in plagiarism, it is used without attribution. Under these sections, plagiarism can attract imprisonment from 6 months to 3 years. So let us see what is citation, because citation is very much useful to cite the original work. A citation is the way you tell your readers that certain material in your work came from another source. It also gives your readers the information necessary to find that source again. It includes information about the author, that is the author's name, the title of the work, the name and location of the company that published your copy of the source, maybe the publisher and the place of publication, and also you have to give the date of the published copy, that is your publication, the page numbers of material you have borrowed. Why should I cite sources? Because we have to give the credit to the original author by citing sources. It is the only way to use others people's work without plagiarizing. But there are a number of other reasons to cite sources. Citations are extremely helpful to anyone who wants to find out more about your ideas and where they came from. Not all sources are good or right, but your own ideas may often be more accurate or interesting than those of your sources. So you have to give a proper citation. It keeps you from taking the rap for someone else's bad ideas. Citing sources shows the amount of research you have done, and it strengthens your work by lending outside support to your ideas. So the question arises, doesn't citing sources make my work seem less original? Not at all. On the contrary, citing sources actually helps your reader distinguish your ideas from those of your sources. This will actually emphasize the originality of your own work. When do I need to cite? Whenever you borrow your words or ideas from others, you need to acknowledge your source. Some situation almost always requires citation. Whenever you use quotes, whenever you paraphrase, whenever you use an idea that someone else has already expressed, whenever you make specific reference to the work of another, whenever someone else's work has been critical in developing your own ideas. So proper quotations and citation style manuals have been used to cite properly. So in order to properly quote your sources, you should consult the style manual that would be appropriate for the research. In most cases, your teacher will tell you which style manual to be preferred. If your supervisor doesn't indicate which manual to use, be sure to ask. There are so many examples of citation style manuals. You can use MLA, that is Modern Language Association. It is preferably used by the literature researcher or language researchers. Then APA, that is American Psychological Association, mostly used for scientific research. Then again there is Chicago, Harvard. There are so many formats to be used in citation style manual. These are the standards to cite our research. So how do I know when to reference? If it is a quote, yes, you have to cite it, put quotation marks around the text and reference it. Otherwise, no need to cite. If you are paraphrasing someone's work, yes, you have to cite and give the proper reference. Otherwise, no. How do I know when to reference? If it is someone else's ideas, yes, you have to cite it and reference it. Otherwise, no. You don't have to reference it, or you don't have to give your opinions if it is a common knowledge. So, plagiarism is very much easy, but it is also easy to detect. So, there are so many anti-plagiarism software tools. There are free, open source, and also some commercial. So, for example, we can take Turnitin, Urkun, and many more free or commercial. So, these anti-plagiarism software tools are used to check the originality by using technology. So let us see how Urkun works. See, the student has to send the documents through this email, or they can upload through web or learning management system to the teachers. There is no need to install this Urkund software, and this Urkund will analyze the content of these sources through this internet, published material and student material. When the analyses are finished, the documents and generated reports are forwarded to the research. One of the report is generated by using this Urkund anti-plagiarism software, and then the result of analysis and student documents are forwarded to the teachers' email addresses of choice straight into an learning management system or the Urkund web-based inbox. Urkund provides easy, straightforward plagiarism prevention with minimum workload. See, you can see the originality check by using this Urkund software. All the colored material is identified by using various sources, and on the right side you can see how many percentage has been identified from these sources. So all the matching content are displayed on the screen regarding to the report generated by the Urkund. So the publishers are checking submitted articles by using all the listing of these databases. You can see the Emerald, Sage, PubMed, EBSCOhost. So these are all the databases used by the publishers for checking the research articles or the thesis. So major cases of plagiarism, we can see the students' dissertations, term papers submitted for the assessment, assignments, research projects of PG students, thesis, research reports, academics research writings, books, maybe the articles, maybe the research papers. So the internet is not responsible for it. It is a tool to detect it. Copying of idea is always not plagiarism if it is done as per rules. So for the detecting, these rules are framed by UGC Notification for Plagiarism 2018. We can see the levels are provided by the UGC. Level 0, you can see the similarities up to 10%, minor similarities, there is no penalty. And up to the level 1, about 10% to 40%. So the students have to revise script within a stipulated time period. And the level 2, similarities above 40% to 60%. The students shall be debarred from submitting a revised script. And the level 3, similarities above 60%. The students' registration shall be cancelled. And the penalties in case of plagiarism in academic and research publication, you can see the level 0, similarities up to 10%, there is minor similarities, there is no penalty. Then again, about 10% to 40% shall be asked to withdraw manuscript, and similarities above 40% to 60% shall be asked to withdraw manuscript, denied for increment, and shall not be allowed to be a supervisor to any PG degree or MPhil or PhD. So the last, similarities above 60%, that is level 3, shall be asked to withdraw manuscript. So these are all the offences and the penalties framed by the UGC notification for plagiarism. So we have to stop the plagiarism because it's a very serious offense in the academic world. So why do people plagiarize? Because the people may feel that there is a study pressure upon them, or they have the pressure to publish for career advancement scheme. They have lack of time, lack of planning, disorganization. Sometimes they feel they have to influence others. There is a competition regarding to the parental and colleague pressure. There is a cut and paste culture. laziness, lack of enforcement, lack of understanding of seriousness of plagiarism, maybe the fear of failure, careless attitude, lack of knowledge, lack of referencing skills, and of course, also they feel English as the international language. So there are so many reasons the people feel regarding to the plagiarization. So you can avoid plagiarism. Just simply be honest. When you have used a source in your paper, give credit where it's due. Acknowledge the author of the original work you have used. Again, you can avoid this plagiarism. You just have to read and understand the original document several times before start explaining about it. Do not copy any word or sentence from the original document. Give proper citation to all the sources, maybe the books, maybe the journal, research article, website, video, and so on. In case of citing online sources, include the access date and appropriate URL in the reference. Common phrases and definition need to be quoted and cited without any modification. Make a practice to include the references section whenever write an academic document. You can use the Mendeley Zotero Reference Manager tool for developing your own library. Cross-verify all your citations before submitting your document. Finally, take a plagiarism report from any one of the famous plagiarism software to ensure the originality of the written document. For example, Turnitin, Urkund, etc. See, the universities are provided Urkund anti-plagiarism software by the InflibNet, and there is a mechanism developed by the universities. They have the policy to check the regarding to the research of the researcher. So you can avail this facility from the university libraries. You can use the Mendeley Reference Manager tool for developing your own library. It's a combination of desktop application and a website to manage, share and discover both content and context in research. You can download this Mendeley from www.mendeley.com. It is a quick and simple installation. You can add all your PDFs, maybe the research articles, books, reviews, or the chapters from any sources. You can organize it, you can cite it, you can collaborate it, and it is used on any operating system, that is Windows, Macintosh, or Linux. It is compatible and freely and fully compatible with Windows or MS Word plugins. You can add the MS Word plugins, and it is very much compatible with and user friendly to use this Mendeley Reference Manager tool. Another reference manager tool you can use, Zotero, that is also free and open source, easy to use bibliographic reference manager. Help researchers collect, organize, cite and share your research sources. Can be downloaded from the address, that is www.zotero.org. You can use various web sources, but is written for Mozilla Firefox. So these are very much useful reference manager tools. You can plan accordingly. You can develop your libraries. So dear friends, I hope you understood the concepts of academic integrity and plagiarism, which will help you to perform effectively and efficiently. Thank you for watching. Keep smiling and be safe. Thank you.